Saw this one on a medical sub a while back. This woman has just given birth and tore a bit, and the father was in the delivery room while the nurse stitched her up. The father jokingly said, "Be sure and stitch her up nice and tight for me down there mlol." Without missing a beat the nurse said, "Just how small do you need it to be, sir?" She was a legend on the floor for that lol. A guy told a female co-worker she was so ugly that the only thing she could turn on was a hose. Without missing a beat, she replied that at least when she turned something on it got wet. The guy was speechless, and I laughed till I had tears. My dad and I were at a farming expo. I have a bunch of chickens. This presenter, a chicken-owning expert, is droning on about how stupid chickens are, and I'm getting annoyed. I know they're not clever, but you can teach them basic tricks. And even if they are stupid, okay, fine, but I came here to learn something, please. My dad, without missing a beat, after this woman says they're dumb for the fourth time, I think chickens take on the personalities of their owners. Was standing behind these two older adults and this teen girl at the gas station last year. She was on her phone and the guy snapped at her for not knowing how to live without technology, and without looking up she went, "Don't you have a pacemaker?" Ladies, I like my vagina shaved. Then shave your vagina, Bill. Young pregnant co-worker had a stranger stare disapproving at her in a restaurant, then walk up and say, "Pregnancy isn't very becoming on you." She replied, "Well, being a nosy rude BCH isn't becoming on you, but here we are." Someone yelled out in a Walmart, "I'm not ashamed of who I am." Another voice echoed back, "That's your parents' job." My son and his newlywed wife were poor college students living out of state. When I went to visit them, I took them to the grocery store and let them fill up a couple of grocery carts that I paid for. As we were leaving the store I said, "Now, when your kids are poor married college students trying to get by, don't forget this." My new daughter-in-law piped up and said, "Oh, we won't forget. We're going to tell them to go get grandpa." Ha-ha-ha-ha-ha, I love that gal. My uncle to my husband. "When are you guys having a kid?" My husband. "Please don't ask me about my sex life with your niece." I overheard a toddler crying at the store. Mom, annoyed, said to him, "Stop crying. You sound like a little girl." Sibling, girl, told mom, "He's not crying like a little girl. He's crying like a kid." Brrrn. My mom screaming at my brother that he's a son of a B*TCH, and him calmly saying back to her, "Yeah, I am. I don't care if it's self-congratulatory, I'm proud of this one." Having dinner with my dad and older sister. I got straight A's in school or something, and she's doing the older sibling thing. "Sister, you may have gotten the book smarts in this family, but I got the street smarts." Me, the corner doesn't count. Dad, chokes whiles laughing. Random guy, kiss my A*S. My mom, "If it looks anything like your face, forget it." My brothers were fighting and one said the other had a thick skull. He responded by saying, "That's because I actually have something worth protecting." I like the one from Aliens where the male private asks the somewhat butch woman, "Have you ever been mistaken for a man?" And she answers, "No." Have you? Someone asked a friend of mine if they were gay. He said, "If you'll excuse my rudeness in not answering your question, I'll excuse your rudeness for asking it." I thought it was perfect. My best friend was being made fun of by a straight dude for being a lesbian and having a girlfriend, and I, a very protective friend, looked him dead in the eyes and said, "At least she can get a girl." One of my favorites is one I told my sister. Her, "If I had a nickel for every time you swore, I would be a millionaire." Me, "If I had a nickel for every time you pissed me off, I would put them in a bag and hit you with it." My mom spit out her drink from laughing. 5th grader on the playground, to a kindergartner, Santa's not real. Kindergartner to 5th grader, Santa's real, he brings me presents every year. If he doesn't bring you presents, maybe you should think about why. At the Scottish Games, dude asked a performer in a kilt, what do you wear under that skirt? The guy did not skip a beat and said, your mother's lipstick. I fucking laughed, and so did the guy's buddies. He was so shook. This one came from me. I was 7 months pregnant and huge. While heading to my car, some random dude stopped me and rubbed my stomach while asking when I was due. I rubbed his stomach and asked him when he was due. My 3-year-old niece came over with her dad, and, as little kids do, just randomly interrupted our adult conversation to say emphatically, I'm 3. Me, wow, sweetie. How did you get so old? Niece, gently but matter-of-factly correcting me like I am a simpleton who needs help, actually, I'm kind of new. It's been months and I laugh every time I think of this story. I can explain it to you, but I can't understand it for you. I used the line from the movie Iron Eagle once on a bully at school that actually seemed to help. Using the kid's name when he shoved me against some lockers, I said so everyone in the hallway could hear. What's your problem, Rory? Can't you get through a single day without proving what an asshole you are? He stammered and shrugged and walked always and never really bothered me again. I used to work with a very conservative, very angry older man who would get triggered if you did not agree with him. Like red face angry. He would always equate my age to being less intelligent than him. I forget what we were talking about. But he went on about how he was wiser given his age. I simply said, if you're so smart, then why the hell are we both doing the same job? He did not have an answer for me. And then I felt bad afterwards for having said it. This will get buried, but after 2 weeks of a blockhead coming in late in high school, the teacher openly warns him in front of the class, I'm going to mark you truant if you're late again. So he goes, what does that mean? And my quiet ass pops up and says, it means you're late and also need a dictionary, and I had the whole class going. Teacher popped a smirk. I am still proud. I asked my mum out of curiosity what she would do if she found a used condom in my brother's room. Her response, I would remind him that you can't get HIV from your own hand. For context, I live in South Africa where HIV is very common. I worked with an older gentleman who was from Chicago. He had a story or an opinion on everything, and he was very proud of his smack-talking talents. The entire department was walking off to a meeting, and, as it was summer and many of us were wearing shorts, somehow the topic shifted to the lack of hair on somebody's legs. Mr. Smack Talker spouted out the comment that hair don't grow on dead things. All I had to do was look at his head and arch an eyebrow. He had let the fact that he was quite bald escape his memory. Somewhere on this planet, there is a tree that has spent its entire life creating the oxygen you breathe. You should find that tree and apologize. Your mom's a WH*re. And your dad's a customer. Funniest ST I've ever heard. We were having a debate about something during history class in high school. Kid who had a reputation for being a jerk told this girl who had a reputation for sleeping around to shut her mouth. She retorted, at least people like when I open my mouth. Entire class lost their ST, including the teacher. A kid in high school tried to insult me by pointing out my long hair. Yo guy, you have long *s hair. I proceeded to follow him around asking him how he knew about my long ass hairs. He quickly started backtracking and saying he was not gay. Bully, you're a piece of ST. Kid that was get bullied, and you're the rest of it. P.S. No one really liked this kid, but after this he got mad respect. What are you even doing? Minding my own f-king business, you should try it sometime. It was one of those moments where everyone around heard it and went, "Oh oh," at the same time, and it has always stuck with me. I have neither the crayons, nor the time to explain it to you. Old man's response to hipster calling him a boomer ars asterisk hole. If it weren't for ARA holes like me, SHT like you wouldn't exist. I had a coworker who was a bit of a bully. He was an alumnus of William and Mary and wouldn't shut up about it. We worked with plenty of people who went to better colleges than that, but nobody else was as obnoxious as this guy. His daughter got into UVA, and I congratulated him because it's every parent's dream that their kid does just a little bit better than they did. For some background, I'm gay. I decided to wear nail polish to school a while back, and in my foods class I was washing dishes when another, straight, kind of a jerk, guy walks up to me and says, "Oh, I'm sure you'll have all the guys fawning of you." So I responded, "I wish," and his expression was priceless. After the fact I told this to my friends, and my best friend, who is lesbian, says that I should have said, "Why, are you interested?" My BIL made a joke about paying a doctor a couple bucks to add the husband stitch. My SIL said too bad we couldn't afford to pay him to add the extra inches you need. My own. A much shorter coworker walked up to the desk, with two cute women, one on each arm, smiling at me, and said, "Jealous?" I replied, "No, I never wanted to be short." His face dropped, and the girl snickered. I observed this walking to the men's room at a bar in Nashville. A legitimately cross-eyed man exiting the bathroom while someone else was walking in, and they bumped into each other. It wasn't anything serious, but it still led to this exchange. Cross-eyed man, watch where you're going. Non-cross-eyed man, go where you're watching.